Last September, I shared a campfire with a stranger who told me 4 stories. Halfway through the third, I realized they weren't stories. They were a resume, and he was interviewing me for the next one. I was 5 days into a solo section hike, camped at a dry site off an old forest road, 7 trail miles from the trailhead. No signal since the ridge, where I'd signed the trail register and texted my brother my plan. At dusk, an older man walked into camp with a heavy pack and a hand-carved walking staff and asked to share my fire. Trail courtesy. You say yes. He never gave a name. He settled onto a log, poked the coals with that staff, and said, "Every good fire earns a story." I've collected a few off this trail. The first was about a college kid who vanished on this section 19 years ago. Hiked alone, friendly, logged every register. His father had carved him a walking staff with his initials at the grip. One night he shared a fire with the wrong man, the stranger said. They found his pack 8 miles downhill. Never him. The strange part, for years after, his name kept showing up in registers all over this trail. Same name, different handwriting. He smiled. The trail provides. I said that was grim. He shrugged. You want shorter? Why do they call them missing persons when the mountain knows exactly where they are? And I laughed. He watched me laugh like I'd answered a question. The third story was about a trail angel, the kind who stalks water caches on dry stretches. Except this one only helped hikers who told him nobody was waiting for them. Take only pictures, leave only footprints, the stranger recited. He was disciplined about that. The pictures are how they'll count them someday. Somewhere in that story, I stopped hearing the fire and started hearing how big the dark was. I reached into my jacket like I was digging for chapstick. What I actually did was hold down the SOS button on my satellite beacon for 5 seconds. I asked how he came up with them. Out here, he said, feeding the fire. You don't come up with anything. You walk far enough and the trail hands it to you. So, they're true? He looked at me a long moment. Every trail has stories. Somebody had to live them. I said I should turn in. One more, he said. The one I've been saving. 2 hikers share a fire at a dry camp, first week of September. The young one has a green pack and camps alone. Signed the ridge register that morning. Told the world he'd be out of touch till Friday. My blood stopped. I never told him that. It was written in my own handwriting, 7 miles back, in a book he collects. Then the fire popped, flared, and I finally saw the grip of his walking staff. 2 initials, carved deep, worn smooth by 19 years of hands. Not his story, his trophy. It was full dark, miles from anyone, and the only weapon I had was the one he'd been using on me all night. My turn, I said. Trail rules. 2 men share a fire. What the older one doesn't know is that the young one carries a satellite beacon clipped inside his jacket, and he pressed the SOS an hour ago when the third story started. Rangers run this road at night. The older man has to decide how much of that is true. For the first time all night, he had no story ready. We sat in the longest silence of my life, the fire ticking between us. Then, far down the drainage, an engine, headlights sweeping the switchbacks. He stood, unhurried, and shouldered his pack. The trail provides, he said. Some nights it provides for you. He picked up the staff and walked uphill into the dark, no headlamp, like the mountain took him back. The Rangers took me out that night. When I described him, they didn't look surprised. They'd been hearing versions of that man for 20 years, half legend. That winter, a climber found a camp 2 ridges over that no map showed. Inside a rock hollow, 17 stolen trail registers, certain names underlined. The newest one came off my ridge. My name was in it, underlined twice. They never found him. I still hike, but never alone, and I sign every register with a fake name now. Hikers like to say the trail provides, but somewhere out there, a man is sitting at somebody's fire tonight, asking if they'd like to hear a story. If it's your fire, don't wait for the ending. Be the one who tells it.